Welcome to Just Minding My Business Media. I'm happy that you're here today and just want to give a quick prayer to the people out in Florida dealing with Hurricane Milton. Our prayers and love go out to you. Today, I am so excited to bring to you Kathy Roberts, who is the CEO of Switch Reward Card, a blockchain finance ecosystem. Kathy started her career with Sears and then transferred over as an early executive when Sears started Discover Card. Kathy went on to become the president of Discover Bank and served as the first female chair of the Delaware Bankers Association. Well, I am so proud of you, Miss Kathy.
Thank you. Thank you, Ida. I appreciate it.
I can imagine what all of that took. Well, welcome, welcome. I can't wait to get into this conversation. So, what is the Switch Reward Card?
Well, thanks for having us today, Ida. A Switch Reward Card, as you said, is based on a blockchain, and the blockchain was dedicated to offering the opportunity to a decentralized audience versus a centralized audience.
Mhm.
So I think we're all used to the traditional way that we do our finances. And traditionally, you have to get an hour off or 2 hours off to go to the bank and do your business during their hours. And in this new decentralized finance arena, you don't have to do that anymore. So, Switch
Mhm.
Reward Card is a vehicle that allows you to hold onto your crypto assets or your fiat assets, either one, trade them, exchange them, and spend them. So, within the next 45 or so days, you will see us offering an international prepaid MasterCard or Visa. Dependent on where you are located, will depend if you get a Visa or a MasterCard. And behind that are the trade platforms and this is very important, two separate wallets. One wallet, which is non-custodial, which means I don't know what you put in there. No matter how big my hair gets, Ida, I cannot steal that from you. And the other one is a custodial wallet. When you need to spend something, you move whatever you want to move. If you want to move it over to your custodial wallet, we do have that attached to banking systems and to the Visa MasterCard system. So it makes it easy for you to hold, spend, or trade your crypto and use it. And using crypto has been difficult. So go to switchrewardcard.com and you can find out a lot more about us.
Wow, I'm impressed. Yes, because crypto is definitely great. I'm ready to start. I had invested and then I kind of spent it up, so now I'm ready to get started again. So, do you help people get started with crypto in your platform?
Absolutely, we can. We have on our platform, you'll find a lot of opportunities to find out about this decentralized market. And of course, everyone knows about Bitcoin, the granddaddy of them all, and watches that one really closely. But you can also watch things like the altcoins, which are the alternative coins, along with Bitcoin, and see what those markets are doing on things like Coin Market Cap. Our suggestion to you or anyone who's entering these markets is always to do what we call your own research. So we call do your own research. Don't believe what anybody else has to say unless you're just out there gambling and want to try something, not with the grocery money, not with the gas money, but with that extra money that you might have put away to gamble with. But when I say do your own research, our product is a product that has use behind it. So whether it's the Visa, the MasterCard, we'll also have an actual a debit card. And in the future, we're looking at credit vehicles. Right now, we also offer business accounts because we feel that, and it's been predicted that in the next 2 years, most business owners will want to accept crypto. And why not? So we have a widget and a business account We can exchange that for you, or you can accept the crypto that you accept at your business into your treasury. We can help you with all of those things. Crypto traditionally has been tough, and you have to be really diligent about your transactions. But what we're all about is making it a little easier on you. We even have white glove services if you need them.
Wow. I'm
Yeah,
impressed. Wow, this is awesome. Yes, because like you said, not many places take crypto. Yeah.
that's
And, I was talking to a friend of mine recently, and he was saying if we move toward the crypto space, that the deficit could be cleared up in 5 years.
it's interesting. In the beginning of crypto, people thought it was only about the Silk Road and, things that were, maybe not front of the line kind of transactions. Now, and then they said only, small businesses will take it, etc. Now you have entire countries who have declared that this will be our new currency, and they have worked their way out of debt. The difference that you'll see, and what we talk about a lot, is the fact that this is a borderless transaction. It is not tied to the banking hours. It is not tied to the banking institutions. You can do peer-to-peer transactions. And with this, the other thing that I believe, and the reason I took on this project in retirement, was I do believe this could be a equalizer outside of the United States. For a long time, we have been fortunate enough to be dominant in the world currency transactions in the United States because we have the deal with oil. You had to trade in US dollars. That is breaking up now. Other reasons is when the gold standard changed. Now everybody wants a dollar. However, as we move into these digital currencies, one of the things that a girlfriend said to me, she was traveling, I think she was in Kenya, and she said, hurry up with your product. I don't want to carry a lot of cash with me. And I want to go to these little malls that they've built themselves and buy their merchandise, but I don't want to carry cash. I don't, feel like that's the appropriate thing. And I don't think I want to carry my mainstream credit cards. And when you go to those places, and I've been, you find these wonderful places to buy these products and things that people have made or crafted. The young person maybe running that mall might not have a great pair of shoes, but guess what, Ida? They got one of these. And on this, oh, that's my boy. On this, you can have your information about your Switch reward card or be a merchant on that telephone. They have the phone, and that can transmit the transactions that you need. And it doesn't matter what time the bank is open. It doesn't matter, what country you're in. This is the fastest adopted technology, the blockchain is ever. It is the fastest technology that's ever been adopted. Faster than it took me to adopt using a microwave. I did. I thought something was wrong with that microwave thing when that came out.
Well, here's my story. When they came out with the widescreen TV and I saw that black, I thought the TV was broke. I actually called.
It's,
I was like, what is all this black on the television? Something is wrong.
I think we've all had those moments.
Yeah,
And while you said a little bit ago that people are saying most merchants don't accept crypto. However, over 600 million people have crypto. They're gonna want to use it somewhere.
yeah,
And if you're the merchant on the cutting edge, you mentioned Discover Card. I remember when Discover Card was thought to be the new kid on the block, and it was first new credit card in 23 years. And when we announced the cash back, people say, oh, you guys are stupid. That will never work. You'll lose money. What is the most copied thing now in these markets?
yeah, yeah. It's the cash back. Everybody
Yeah.
got a reward card.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, it's a reward card.
That's right. That's right. What airline do you travel first? The one you have the most points on, or the one you're trying to get the most points on?
Right,
You know,
exactly.
everywhere you go, there's a system of that sort. So, one of the things that helped me decide to do this project was it will bring the opportunity outside of just the traditional markets into non-traditional markets. And when you go to some of those places in the countryside in Kenya, I noted the men working on the side of the road, pounding rocks. They're making the gravel for the rich people's driveway. They make about $1 a day. What if through systems like this, through use of these currencies, that you could increase your income by $15? That's that's over, half of what if you could get it up to $45 by using something like this, selling your products this way. There are ways for people to use these benefits, use these utilities, use these cryptocurrencies to their advantage as they grow in utility and use around the globe, not just in the US. We're a little bit behind here in the US.
Yeah, that's because we want to control. And this can't control that way.
That's right. I do believe in regulations, never have been afraid of them, have had a stellar opportunity to have a good reputation in the banking community. I do believe in this coming election that either candidate will have to address it. That, people say, well, what happens if this person wins? What happens if that person wins? It doesn't matter. The demand for these altcoins and things like Bitcoin and all these other things is so high that the largest institutions all over the globe have jumped in. So I do believe either candidate will have to address it.
Yeah, yes, yes, indeed. Now we all know that Bitcoin, Ethereum, coins are very volatile. They go up, they go down.
That's right.
How does that work within your platform?
In our platform, you'll see the opportunity to look at any of those that you might like to purchase or, take a look at to hold in your wallet. However, going back to that do your own research thought is you need to look at the entire project, not just the coin itself. So there are some coins that are called an ICO, and those are truly, it's like an initial coin offering, just like an initial stock offering, and those are securities. There are other coins that are called meme coins, and those meme coins are generally have been in the form of artwork or fun. And a lot of people consider those meme coins because they are fun, but they also consider it the money they might be gambling with. When you look at the ecosystem that we're involved with and the blockchain that we're involved with, we are involved with a blockchain that it has social impact. In the same element is a blockchain that's in our same ecosystem that is encouraging people, encouraging mine owners like gold mines, silver, turquoise, etc., to leave those elements in the ground. And when they give them in the exchange of that token for their gold mine or their silver, the agreement is if we mine this in the future, we promise to mine in a respectful manner with regard to the land. We promise not to use 6-year-olds, child labor to do this, and we promise to use respectful ways to mine it. And in exchange, they're getting the element tokens or nodes. The node technology is important because that is part of the decentralization. And anyone can participate. Anybody can purchase the node software that produces, in our case, Switch, all capitalized. We have another one in our blockchain, which is Grow, which is encouraging farmers how to help with carbon credits, how to do food that is traceable all the way back to what the cow ate.
Oh, wow.
When he does his information sessions, he asks everybody to raise their hands and say, who eats? Everybody eats, right? And then he goes to the next session, and the next session he says, who knows where the food came from and how the food was produced? And nobody raises their hand. And you have to think of all the dangers there are in the world.
Mm.
We're building on our farmland every few minutes, and who's to know how your food was produced? And so he's encouraging farmers, and people are buying the beef and other products on his using their grow tokens. And so each one of these has a social impact along with the token and utility for that token. So when you look at Switch, you will have the opportunity to use the Switch token to pay for that prepaid debit card. And if you look at the benefits that go along with that and being able to use the exchange to move your crypto, etc., we are cheaper than using, the alternatives that are out there. I won't advertise their names, but we want everyone to know about us because guess what? We're faster and cheaper. When you look at some of our competitors, they may hold your money for 7 to 10 days, depending on
Yeah.
your. And we have tracked most of our transactions down to 6 or 7 minutes. So try to
Wow.
do that when you've opened up your new account at some of our competitors and see that it's pending and then get your money. We have white glove. And one of the things that's really important is we have customer service. Coming out of the card industry, customer service was important to me. Try to find another company that does what we do and try to call their customer service. Try to send them a ticket. I've done it myself. Send them information, ask a question, and then in 6 months or so, they'll probably get back to you.
Or not.
Yeah, or never, maybe never. But try it with Switch Reward Card. You're going to get a response. And if you need us to reach out, we'll reach out. We'll even talk to you face to face on a Zoom if we have to, if you have a problem. I think our customer service approval rate, last time I looked, was 91%. That is
Wow.
unheard
Yes, that is unheard of today. And for me, that's the most important piece of a company for me. I will pay a little bit more if you have great customer service because we know things go wrong. It's how you handle those things when they go wrong that makes the world
Absolutely.
of difference. Wow, I am so happy to hear that part. I'm already sold just on that.
We shall get you signed up for an account and get you out
Yes.
using our platform.
Yes, I'm like when I saw your bio, I had no idea this is where we were going. I am so excited about this because crypto is going to be is important. It's here. It's just like AI.
Hmm.
We're going to be moving forward with that.
Yeah.
And it can help a lot of people in terms of getting out of poverty.
Absolutely. It can, El Salvador is the country that adopted Bitcoin as their legal tender. And that wasn't that long ago, maybe 2 years ago, if I have that right. And they have worked their way out of their country's debt. And
Hmm.
in our case, in America, you realize that no one except for, I think it was Andrew Jackson, who's the only president. Now, he's not among our best presidents, but he's the only president that worked his way out of the national debt during his term. And,
Hmm.
um, you know, it's nice to have had the dominance with the dollar. It's nice if it is a Ponzi scheme, if the dollar is a Ponzi scheme, we've all been born into it. We don't want it to fail. However, it appears that if we continue, and this is my personal opinion,
Yes.
printing dollars all the time, it deflates our valuation. And as now we know, the Saudis have not renewed the 75-year agreement that's been going on for trading with dollars. It won't happen overnight, but some of our dominance will falter.
Oh
Um,
yeah. It's
some of our
starting to
dominance will falter.
now. It's
Yeah.
starting to now. And I mean, we all can tell when we go to the grocery store how far the dollar go. It is like, oh my God, really?
Every time I don't seldom I don't tell my doctor I don't seldom purchase a candy bar, but I think is purchasing a candy bar or being at the airport and purchasing. I'm like, what do you mean $3.29? That used to be a nickel. Yeah. So I'm telling a little bit about my age now. But I'm like, that was a nickel. That was a dime. What happened?
Right, right. There's no more penny candy. No,
Yeah.
that's a gone. It's like if
Yeah.
you find penny candy, what used to be a penny, I should say, it's
Yeah.
now probably a nickel or 10 cents or it may be
Yeah.
25 cents.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know people are sometimes skeptical of crypto, and it took me personally a long time to take this opportunity. I turned it down 4 times, but after researching it, after
Yes,
looking what was happening in the markets, after looking at consumer demand and looking at the international global nature of this, I am totally convinced that this is going to circle the globe. We might be behind in the US, and that's too bad because it used to be the place of innovation. We used to be the place where people came to start new things, and maybe we'll be behind the 8 ball on this one. But I do believe this is a great equalizer to help people around the globe.
yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly because, I did my due diligence because when you first knew, you got to teach yourself, you got to educate yourself. What is a Bitcoin? What,
Yes,
how did it arrive? All of this good stuff. You need to like really educate yourself on it. And I mean, I've interviewed people that actually do things like recycling, and they have a app, and you just prove that you recycled and you get Bitcoins that
correct.
you can spend within the community.
That's right. And the community is so vitally important.
Yes.
We have a fairly large community at Switch. And then, some of the other ones I didn't mention before, we have one that is all about your personal health. And when you're walking or if you're a member of Galvin, then you get the opportunity to get a eyes coin that you might be able to use depending on what pharmacy you're at as a discount and gather these tokens for future use. So, all of us are driven by what's going to reward us, right?
Yes.
And all of these systems in ours have a social impact. They're not just, I drew a monkey and I put it on the internet for you to buy.
Right.
So I encourage you to look in the entire project, look at the utility of what you're looking at as you
Mhm.
make those decisions to participate in these markets. But it's no different than you used to take a look at any stock that you were going to invest in.
Mhm.
Or maybe you said, well, I just know so much about that company that I am convinced that they are the kind of thing that I would want to have in my portfolio. You do the same due diligence in these markets.
Yes. And I like the idea that it has a social impact because that is so crucial. It's one thing of, making money or building a company, but what are you doing for humanity?
That's right. And it's amazing how some of these individuals who were early Bitcoin miners, as the person who created the node technology in this ecosystem was, he doesn't often or maybe never talks about his charitable intent and the charity that he has donated to over time through the resources of Bitcoin and the node technology and other projects he's done. A lot of these people very quietly are
Mhm.
social impactors, and he's one of them. Um, Here's a good example. If you look at the technology changes over time, and you know more about that than I do, it's made the world a smaller place, right?
Yes.
It used to be that you'd wait for the mail or you'd wait for the phone call, you'd wait by your telephone table. Now that's no longer the case because you have your iPhone and you also have things moving in such a more rapid fashion. Banking is still a little bit stodgy and the same. But when you look at people asking for donations when the Ukrainian war started, they asked for donations. The banks were closed, and overnight, $4 million in crypto moved around the globe the next day to the Ukraine. That while the banks were closed, it could not have even happened that quickly on a wire. You
Mhm.
know, this was people sending peer to peer to the donation that they wanted to make to the Ukraine. Could not have happened with a bank. But this blockchain technology, the crypto markets, made it possible. Overnight, $4 million. That's an example of the speed that can be involved in these transactions without the necessary component of having a custodian in there in those kind of transactions. So that's one of the examples that I often talk about.
Yeah. So again, how do people connect with you and this and your card? Because right after this interview, I'm gonna go ahead and go look.
Well, I hope that everybody that's listening will sign on to switchrewardcard.com. You'll find our website there and take a look at our node technology. Also, and that's something you can purchase. If you purchase the node technology, that will reward you if you keep that node on for our decentralized computing. You keep it on for 6 hours a day, the reward comes back to you in the altcoin switch, all capitals. And then if you have a chance, take a look at my LinkedIn. I'm Kathy Roberts, Switch on LinkedIn. And I hope that everybody will take a look at both of those. You can email me at kroberts@switchrewardcard.com and let us know what you're thinking about. We have right now the opportunity also for people to be on the wait list for the card that's coming out in about 45 days on that website. And that will give you the opportunity to sign up there. When you're out there, open your wallet. It's free. Your wallet on switchrewardcard.com, free wallets, and take a look at our trade platform. If you haven't been in the crypto community, there's an opportunity for you to do that for free and see how that platform works. And then you'll have the opportunity to take a look at things like this on YouTube and on our website that give you more education about these markets. And I would encourage everyone to do it. Am doing this because I wasn't going to be last. I wasn't going to wait for this to be well developed when
Yeah,
I got involved. We are on the edge. If you had the absolute chance to invest in the internet when Bill Gates did,
yeah,
and knew what was going to happen, you would have. Nobody knew it was coming, but this, we're trying to spread the word that people have the opportunity to participate at this level. And that's one of the ways you can participate with us is either coming and get a card from us, use our platform, use our free wallets. There are things on there you don't have to pay anything for. And then if you so desire to participate more and gather the Switch token, I say our future is so bright you need to wear your sunglasses. So buy your node technology and gather as much switch as you can.
yes. Well, I am definitely going to go over there because I'm excited about this. This is like totally cutting edge. For oh wow, I didn't see this coming, Miss Kathy.
Well, I'm delighted. Thank you so much for having me today. It's been fun, and I know there's a lot I can learn from you. So I'll be following you too, Ida. And
Oh yeah, we're
you
gonna
know,
be talking. This is
yeah.
not this is our first encounter, but this is not our last. So
So let me know when you signed up, and I'll make sure you get some of my switch. I'll send you some.
oh okay, sound like a plan. I appreciate that. Now, really quickly, you taught me something today that I didn't know. I didn't know that Sears started the Discover card.
They did. I think a lot of people think that it was started by Dean Witter, but back in the early 80s, Sears was such a large company that they were cash rich. And the store managers would go to a meeting in Chicago every year. And when my store manager came back, I said to him, I said, "Oh, how is the company doing?" And he said something like, well, we're doing great. And they had bought Coldwell Banker, they had bought Dean Witter, and they already owned Allstate. They had created Allstate in the beginning. And he said, we're going to have a Visa or a MasterCard. And the actual story is that Sears did go to Visa and MasterCard, which were associations at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and said, we'd like to issue a Visa or a MasterCard. And they said, no way, you're too big. They were the Walmart of their day. What will happen is that you'll be a bank and you'll take market share from all the other banks, and no way will we let Sears in. No way will we let American Express in. Well, the guys at Sears went to Delaware, bought a bank. And one of the things that was unknown to the American public was Sears was probably about the third largest lender in the nation. After the
Wow.
car manufacturers, it was Sears, and they did it state by state. And every having a Sears card was a prestigious thing. You could also rent a car from them and other things. Uh, and 80% of America walked through a Sears store back then.
Oh, yeah.
So one in every four Americans worked at Sears. And so they had a think tank in Chicago. And what they were asked to do was, what are all the things that we already do well that we could do again? And credit was one of them. And so that's how the Discover card was born when Visa, MasterCard said, no, you can't do a Visa. They said, okay, we'll do something else. And, it was a non-bank bank charter that was received. And I was fortunate enough to be able to start with Discover in what they call the Donner days of Discover. And
Mm-hmm.
um, I think I tell the truth. I'm a mercenary. I ran the first payroll and I thought, oh, I need to be the president of this place. I don't I don't want to, I ran the payroll in California. I'm in Chicago. The payroll was run out of Sears Savings Bank in California. And people just didn't know how many tentacles Sears had. They had a mortgage company and other things. I think I got a set of five different business cards when I went to Chicago, different companies that they had, and Discover Card, made it big out of that. But I did set my eye on doing the business part of this because I'm like, that would be a great thing to head one of these businesses. And I worked in every part of the company that I could, mostly operations, HR, other things, security, and customer service, collections. But at the end of my career, I was the president of Discover Bank. And there are two president's titles, the bank and the president of the card. And so I think I did okay as a girl.
Yes, I think you did marvelous as a girl. And during that time,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
God, you definitely did fine as a girl.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, let's talk to our youngins now.
Oh, glory.
As a woman in 2024, during that era, it was very difficult for women. I was in the IT business when it was all men. There were no women. If a woman was in IT, you could count on one hand how many.
And they still wanted you to get the coffee, right?
Oh yeah, they still, and the respect wasn't there. You really had to work really hard to earn that respect. You really did. So for the ladies out there, let's talk a little bit about what it means to be a CEO and what it takes, because you are definitely qualified.
Well, thank you. I do think that it's still tough when you look at the number of or the percentage of women CEOs here in the United States. It's about 9%, which by now, 2024, you might think it would be larger. The other thing that you'll look when you look at the statistics is that a woman in one of those jobs for more than 10 years is very, very rare.
Mhm.
It is still a tough job, man or woman, it doesn't matter. It's always a tough job. You're in the job that is holding every bit of responsibility if something goes wrong. Not a lot of attaboys if something goes right, but if something goes wrong, you can guarantee that they're coming for you. Uh, One of the things that I often say to young people is this: no matter what your level of education is, no matter what your intentions are about making it to the top, you have to be so tough in your mental and spiritual abilities that you're not going to give up. There are going to be hard days, like you just said. There are going to be days where people they'll underestimate your abilities,
Mhm.
and you need to be the most prepared person in the room. I recall the night before the first board meeting that I was going to be in, and the board book had arrived a little late. There is a span of time it's supposed to come in, and it didn't come. So I kept my poor CPA up. He was in Texas, I was in Delaware all night going over every jot and tittle of anything I didn't know that was in that board book. And of course, they didn't go over every jot and tittle, but I always felt that no matter what, when I walked in the room, I felt like I needed to be the best prepared person in the room. There wasn't going to be anything that someone could talk about that I would not know. And
Mhm.
it takes extra time, it takes extra research. It is difficult. If you have all the news, back then it was newspapers. So I'd have all the pink sheets, the Wall Street Journal, everything I needed to have delivered to the house at about 4:30 in the morning. And so that when I walked into the office, I was prepared. I knew what was going on. It is a tough place to be, but it's also very rewarding, and you can open doors for others if you're in those spots.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but I think one of the things that you can also do is create your own spot. Ida, you've got a wonderful, just minding my business media. You know, uh, all of us in our early lives back in those days, were go get a great job, right? Well,
Hmm.
sometimes you have to break out of that cycle and do your own thing.
Yeah.
And that's hard too. But if you do it well and you're vigilant and you watch all your P's and Q's, I love the title of your podcast, Minding My Own Business, because you have to be so focused,
Yes.
so driven, and so on fire about what you're doing that you will defend it and you will make it better every day. And you'll know every number that's involved in your business. If you've ever signed a call report for a bank, the poor people would bring that report to me. I'd sit and go over it with a ruler because I'm not sending anything with my signature on it that wasn't going to be right,
That's
wasn't
right.
perfect.
Yeah.
So there, but no matter how hard it is, I believe that there are many young people, many young women who will move into those positions and do it very well. And one of the interesting pieces I was asked once, somebody said, "Well, you got that job, and did you even interview for the job?" And I had been promoted to it. And my response was, "You interview for the next job every day.
Mm.
Every single day that you show up at work, consider yourself being considered for the next job. You are showing people your future.
Yeah.
You're creating your future, no matter what job it is. Be vigilant and diligent about that because that means somebody else is watching. You never know who's watching."
Absolutely. You said a mouthful there. Wow, wow, wow. This has been awesomeness, to say the least. So, again, how do people connect with the card? How do they connect with you? And I mean, over the top. You just,
Remember, I'd love for everyone who would like to have the card to go to Switch Reward Card. And that switch, and it's just like a switch off the tree, or you switch to this new card, and it's reward, no S, and card.com. There you can go on and get yourself on the wait list for the card. If you do not have a wallet for crypto, there you can go on. And even if you have one, you can go on and open a wallet with Switch Reward Card for free and take a look at our node section, which will be talking about the software that runs the decentralized computing power for the blockchain. Buy one, and you will start downloading Switch every day that you keep it on. Also, there's a section for business. You're running a business and you want to accept crypto. We have a crypto widget that you can use. Open
Wow.
your business account and we can help you accept crypto. We can exchange it for you and send it back to you in another form if you like. Um, all the services that you need to disrupt your traditional life, we will be picking up at Switch Reward Card. So go there and take a look today. Don't wait. Take a look today. Sign up for your free wallet and start trading.
Yes, I know I'm going to be on top of this because I'm excited about this opportunity because as a business owner, having different ways to accept currency is a plus.
Absolutely.
It's a plus. And I mean if you accepting crypto, oh wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah, I as it started in my life in retail. I wanted to, you wanted to be able to take the customer's money. You don't want that to be an impediment,
Right.
whether it was their cash, their credit card, or their debit card, or whatever. There's so many the payment systems in the world. That's a $20 trillion market.
Yes.
Trillion. And just think, this is just the edge of that. So being in the front of it, not in the back of it, would be something that your customers that have crypto, and you'll be surprised at who has crypto, would appreciate the opportunity to use that at your establishment.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And because it's, international,
Yes,
the world just opened up to you.
absolutely. The world is open to you. It's a different world than when I started anyway.
Oh yeah, we learning a whole lot of new stuff. We are evolving, and I just take my hat off to you because, you know, you dated yourself. I'm right there with you, and we're growing and we're evolving with everything that's happening in the world today. We are embracing it, and that's very, very important because a lot of people over 50 don't have that mindset.
Yeah, I at first I thought, well, when I said I turned down this opportunity 4 times, I said, okay, I really understand what you want, but go get a young guy. I don't know what you're talking about. But as patient as he was in explaining these new markets to me, and as I saw how they worked, the more I got interested in doing my own research. And
Mhm.
I compared all the competitors and I thought, wow, this is really going to go. Then I made a judgment call that maybe only a certain number of people would be interested in this. I was wrong. We started out selling our nodes and that node software technology. And a
Mhm.
friend of mine that I would walk with on a regular basis said to me, because I would say, okay, our walk is over. Because he's in a different city, I was in a different city. I said, okay, I got to go to work. I'll talk to you later. One day he said to me, what is it that you do? Tell me exactly. And I started talking about the node technology and about the markets, the crypto markets. And he says, well, I'd like to participate in that. He was 80 years old. He bought three Switch nodes. At that time, the nodes were selling for about $5,000. He
Wow.
says, I'd like to participate in that. I understand because anytime that you can stack up a large number of anything, he's looking at the potential of, oh, I'd have those rewards. And if the rewards can be used to pay my Switch card or something of that sort, or it is trading in the marketplace, there's a potential for me, and we can't guarantee that. I once the Switch token was launched, it belonged to the community, not to me. So the market of the community is what makes that go. But at
Mhm.
80 years old, he said, "Yeah, I'd like to participate in that project." So when you look at things that you think, oh, the market will be 18 to 34, not true in this. And now that we're seeing Bitcoin at the price that it is, I know there are a lot of Bitcoin millionaires who bought at $17, $200. Can you imagine how those people feel about this? They
Yes.
held on all this long and now they're reaping those rewards.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wow. We're gonna have to do this again, Kathy,
Absolutely.
because I truly enjoyed this. This has definitely been very, very educational for sure. Because and I didn't see this coming, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. So thank you so much, Kathy, for taking time out to share this important information. And I can't wait to jump over to that website and get signed up.
Great. And when I'm out east, I'll give you a ring and see if I can come by and see you.
All righty now. Sound like a plan. So thank you.
Have a wonderful day. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.